Hey guys, I'm back with another OTB slash IRL chess video. As this is the biggest thing happening right now in the chess world. Unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult to go out and record these kind of videos in Canada where the only thing we have are moose and like snow and like beaver tails, and we don't really have a lot of people or a chess culture. So, you know, it's alright. It's alright. Hopefully, I'll be able to get you guys more of those videos when I do a bit more traveling this month. But we will jump right into this amazing, amazing game that I played a couple of years ago against Andrey Esipenko. Now, you might be wondering, why am I even pulling up this game? I mean, we look like kids here. We know that I don't look like this young anymore, right? And he seems like he's a lot taller in all those interviews and, photos. But since the World Cup did just end, and I was going down memory lane, one of my viewers actually brought up this video from the deep depths of YouTube. So, shout out to Puras, who actually recorded this video back in 2016. And this tournament was played in Finland. And it was a norm tournament where I was either the second or third lowest rated player. Everybody was pretty much a women grandmaster. Everybody was a title player. I was the only women grandmaster. But there were international masters, FIDE masters, grandmasters. Esipenko is actually international master in this video. He was, I think, 2400. He was 14. Obviously a really Chad player, but not quite as Chad as he would be now. I think now he's grandmaster and 2600. Not entirely sure, but anyways. We all know him as the guy who defeated Carlsen and the guy who played really well against Magnus Carlsen in the World Cup. So, honestly, all the props to him. But I wanted to show you guys this video because, hey, I had a chance at some point to play against him and to potentially not, lose my game in 10 moves. Now, I think if I played him, I would just lose in like 10, 20 moves. But yeah, let's dive into this game. There's still a little bit more to see from this position. I know it's super dry, but it is a Queen's Indian, and I think I had some pretty half decent chances in this game if it wasn't for the fact that I just blundered in 2 moves near the very end. But regardless, you can kind of see the pace of this sort of long classical 90-minute plus 30-second per move with 30 minutes after move 40. You can see the pace of these games. I mean, I pretty much haven't done anything in the last 3 minutes. I think in the entire duration of this video, we will make hopefully 2 moves. I think making 2 moves in 16 minutes in classical chess is pretty much the equivalent of playing bullet. I would say that's pretty much the equivalent of playing bullet. Yeah, these games last quite a long time. You can see from Esipenko's body language that he's probably a little bit bored. Just chilling here. I'm trying to think about what I should do in this position. I'm not strictly worse, but it's already gotten a little bit uncomfortable just because I have the hanging pawns, and I've never been good at playing with the hanging pawns. And by hanging pawns, what I'm talking about are these kind of pawns. The pawns that don't have any pawns next to them defending them. So, yep, probably what's going on in my head right now. These positions are very typical out of Queen's Indian or any other really D4, Queen's Pawn openings, but I was never really good at handling these positions. Alright, so the Duke comes over, takes a quick look, walks back, realizes that this position is dry as hell. Meanwhile, the two sirs, the 2 gentlemen in the background seem to be having a slightly more exciting game. I think the guy just brought an entire bunch of bananas to the tournament too. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Okay, we gotta move! I play c takes b3 in this position. You might be asking me, how do I even know that this is the move that was played. Well, I actually took a look at the board, and I think I got most of the pieces correct, so I'm gonna just take a wild guess and say the position was around this time. It would probably make sense. Oh man, I don't look very happy. Oh? 2 moves were made in the time span of a minute? Wow, this is actually bullet chess. But yeah, you can kind of see with how Esipenko is reacting. He's pretty much got a handle on the position. He knows what he's doing. I'm the one spending much more time on each individual move, trying to come up with something, find a plan, and you know, the engine does say it's fairly equal. It's 0.2 for white, which means pretty much nothing. But yeah, now I have an isolated pawn, which is already under a little bit of pressure. I do have like 2 knights and queen defending it, but my rook and queen are a bit awkwardly placed over here, and if I was trying to attack anything of his, it would have to be this pawn, and I don't want to give him control of this open file either. So, looking back on this position, I would say that my 16-year-old self probably would still play it better than my 21-year-old self. I definitely don't feel like I improved in the last 5 years, but I definitely also think that I should have probably looked a little bit more at pawn structures, since, as Tal said, they are the souls of chess. Alright, a lot of people walking by. This was a round-robin tournament, so round-robin tournaments just differ from like Swiss tournament or knockout tournaments, as in these are like, I think this tournament had 8 participants, so it was just 7 rounds, 1 against each person. Alright, Esipenko's just like, plus. Oh, I just do not look happy. I'm like, where in my life did I go wrong to end up in this situation? Alright. The guy comes over, takes a look at our game. Still deep in thought. Definitely regretting every single life choice right about now. Probably wishing I had a little bit more coffee in the morning. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder too how I ever made it through, you know, so many long chess games. Let me know in the comments, actually, if you've ever played in a classical tournament in a 90-minute plus 30 seconds per move. Oh, look at Andrey. He just looks so done. He just looks so done. He's like, please, just move. Just move, boomer. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've ever played, or if you want to play in a classical tournament. If you think you can handle, if you have enough patience for these kind of games. Alright. Just gonna have to sit around and wait for me to move, I suppose. Actually, when you're the one playing the game, the time doesn't feel like it's that long. You'd be surprised. I think a lot of people think that they don't have the patience to do it, and when they actually like start playing the games, they realize they can actually use that amount of time to like they can use that time to think on moves that they've never really thought about before. And slower games are just so incredibly beneficial for your chess because of that reason, because you're just thinking about everything. It's a whole new way to approach the game rather than just, you know, clicking buttons. Pawn goes brr. Alrighty. I make a move. Yeah, so during chess tournaments, you're actually allowed to like pretty much get up and walk whenever, as long as it's not your move. If you are getting up during your move, it's just seen as, yeah, that's not very sportsmanlike. But when it's your opponent's turn, you're pretty much allowed to just take a walk, go to the washroom, go grab food or something like that. And by grabbing food, I don't mean going to the McDonald's across the street. I mean, like the guy next to us, you see how he has bananas? Yeah, you can take one of those and go eat it outside, but don't like start ordering at an entire restaurant, even though I do think people have done that before. Alright. We're just gonna sit here for a really long time, and as Esipenko proceeds to think. So the rest of this game, I'll show you guys quickly, because obviously I don't think a 4-hour classical game footage of me playing chess when I was 16 is really going to, you know, be the world's most interesting thing. So I'll show you guys quickly how the rest of the game went. He does end up playing knight c5, and then after bishop b5, e3, rook to d8. He slowly grabs an advantage just because of my isolated pawn. And I make this mistake of playing knight to e4, where I sort of create just a really big weakness on e4 when I let his knight take it. And this pawn is incredibly difficult to protect, because when I push f5, I'm also weakening my king. So after knight to g5, bishop to c6, I lose the pawn on e4. I'm trying to find some compensation with attacking the b3 pawn, but sadly the light square bishops gets traded, and objectively speaking, maybe this was still holdable, but it's incredibly difficult, and I actually end up just making this huge blunder with queen to a5, which gets my queen trapped after rook to c5. Or sorry, not my queen trap, but rather my queen can go to a6, and then I lose my knight on b4. So that was rather unfortunate, but here we do see him play the knight to c5 move. But now you guys know. I've played against Andrey Esipenko. Unfortunately, didn't have the best results, but hey, I just wanted to flex that at some point. I was pretty decent at chess. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you're clicking that like button as well as subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.